everyone, and welcome to my new video. And what is this video about? Well, we're going to build an XY pad mapper in Max for Live. What do I mean by that? Well, we're going to make an XY pad and we're going to be able to map it to stuff in Ableton. Old users of Ableton will remember that when you would load a VST in, you would get this little sort of interface down here, and the idea was that you would go to configure and then you'd click configure, turn a parameter, and then turn another parameter, turn that off, and then down here you could say map X to control 1, Y to control 2, and then you could click and drag and control your plugin like that. I'm going to make something like this, but you're going to be able to map the XY to things in Ableton. So we're going to do that, and we're going to do that in Max for Live. So we're going to close that. We're going to go and get Max for Live. Where's Max for Live? Here. Okay, so we're going to use a Max for Live audio effect, and that means that you can kind of just put it anywhere in a set. If it was a MIDI effect, if it was a MIDI effect or a MIDI instrument, then it would only be able to go on a MIDI channel. You don't really want that. So a Max audio effect can kind of go anywhere on any kind of track. So let's put that in there and let's open it. And now we have Max for Live open. We don't need to know about Max 9. I'm using Max 8 for this. So there are a handful of ways that you can do this stuff, but I'm going to go quite basic. We're going to use a thing called the picked slider. Yes, the picked slider. So this is pretty much the thing that we saw earlier. This is a Max and Max for Live thing that we can use to do this, click and drag around and all that sort of stuff. And the way that it works is that it sends values out. This outlet for the X or horizontal, I think is there, horizontal value, and out here for the Y or vertical value. So if I move this way, you can see this number is going from 0 to 127, and if I go this way, it's going from 0 to 127, and if we move around the two, then we get these two values. So this is what we're going to use to build our XY controller. Now we need to work out how to do the mapping. Now I have never really been able to wrap my head around making these Max for Live API mapper things. It used to be a little bit too much for my brain, but now they've made it really, really easy. It's taken a while, but it's super easy to get into this stuff now. And with the help of a handful of things. So first of all, we'll go to the Max for Live tab down here. Click that, and we'll go to Live UI Abstractions, and we have this mapping thing here. We can drag that in, and we have this little mapping B patcher. Now this is basically someone's done all the hard work for you. All you need to do is plug in a couple of things and plug out a couple of things, and you're good to go. So let's do that. We'll have one for our X coordinate and one for our Y coordinate. So let's just start with something like this. Now I'm fairly certain that these little B patches are expecting values between 0 and 1. So I'm going to divide these numbers here by 127 float, and then what will happen is that those values will now get kind of scaled to 0 and 1. Yep, 0 and 1. That's lovely. So they can pretty much go straight into this inlet here, signal to be scaled. It wants a signal. Okay, that's fine. So what we're going to have to do now then is simply make a sig object, give it a value of 0, connect that to that, make another one over here, connect that to that, connect that to there, and that to there. Now that is how we're going to create the signals that we then want to send to our mapper. So how do we do that? Well, this is a thing that basically you can click this and then it'll identify, it'll get the parameter ID of the thing you want to map and convert that to the data that Live needs, or Max for Live needs, in order to receive the data in order to send it to the thing that's mapped. But we still need to tell it to do that. This is just a thing that identifies the parameter. We need to send that data to another object. And you can do this really easy now with this thing called live.remote. So live.remote expects two things in its inlets. The first one is the value, and the second one is the parameter ID, which you can see ever so slightly. It says ID in. My ring is slightly covering that up. And that number is going to be provided by this, which has been identified when you click the map button. So all we need to do is connect that to that, connect that to that. And in fact, we can delete that and just copy this and put that there like that. And that's pretty much all we need to do to start with. But there is one other thing that we need to do. We need to say at normalized 1. Now, what does that mean? Well, it actually tells you down here, toggle the live remote object normalize mode, which automatically scales the input values to the target parameter range. So that means that if you have a parameter that doesn't go from 0 to 127 and it goes from 0 to 3, then the live.remote will automatically scale 0, 127, or 0 to 1 in this case, to the range of that parameter, which means that you can be certain that when you do a full sweep from 0 to 1, you're going to sweep the entire parameter, and then you can sort of set the percentage of that value there with this B patcher. So they both need to have at normalize to 1. Let's copy this, put that there. Now, all we need to do to test this out is simply map a few things, or rather put them in presentation mode. Getting my words wrong today. I'm so excited to do this. I can't speak. So yeah, that's already been put in presentation mode. So that. Now we can go into presentation mode, and we need to go to our inspector. We need to go to the patcher inspector. We need to go to basic, and we need to say open in presentation. Very good. Let's zoom out a little bit. And we can just sort of put these somewhere in here like this. It's just to get us started. Let's put that there like that. Okay. Let's go quickly to view set device width. Zoom out a little bit and pull that in so that we can set the width of the device. Let's go back in, zoom in a little bit back in. Right. Okay. Now I'm going to save this. I'm going to go save as, and I'm going to save it to my, I'll save it to my desktop, and I'm going to call it XY Mapper by Ned Rush. Okay, that is now done. We can close that and we can test to see if it works. So we can, why don't we map the volume controls of these two return tracks here? So let's click that, click map, and then click this one and click map. Okay, and then when we click and drag, yes, look, see, it's working. Look at those volume dials dancing around with our XY pad. Beautiful, it works, but it's not really enough. We need some more. I would like to be able to have two more mappable things with the values inverted. So that we can actually have 4 controls, and one is in the positive range, one is in the negative range. And also I want to set this up so that you can map this to a MIDI controller, but also record the automation. So we're going to go back in, we're going to go back into editing mode, and we're going to get into some more stuff here. So in terms of the inverting the range, then that is quite simple. Let's actually delete that and delete that. We'll get 2 more of these, and we simply just need to do, I think, this !1. Let's see if that's worked. Let's connect that to that and compare these two numbers. Let's see if that's right. Yes. So now, yes, right. So when the X is at the positive value, it's 1, but for here it's 0. You see, and then the other way. So it's basically inverting that. Yes, that is what I want. Thank you very much. Let's put that over there and put that into that. And then we'll do the same for this. Connect that to that and then come out of this one into here. So now we've got 4, 2 for positive XY and 2 for negative XY, or inverted. So some of these numbers we can get rid of. Let's get rid of that. I'm just holding shift and pulling that out like that. Delete, delete. Hold shift here, pull that out, delete, hold shift here, pull that out, delete. Right, okay. Now I want to map these to be able to create some number boxes that I can map to my MIDI controller and record automation. So I'm going to make 2 live number boxes. Did I just do that? Live.numberbox. Right, okay. This is going to be the X, this is going to be the Y. So I'm going to go into the inspector for this first one, and I'm going to give it a name, short name X. Long name X. Check it's linked to scripting name. It's not. Okay, let's put that back. X. All right. And the type float. Yes, that's fine. Yeah, okay, that's fine. And then for this one, we'll do the same thing, but this is going to be Y, linked to scripting name, Y, and then Y there. Very good. We could maybe even give them some comments so that we can label them or whatever. Now, so you'll see what happens when I connect this to this and this to this. In fact, actually, maybe, yeah, we should actually go in here like that. Yeah, I'm going to hold shift, ping that in there. Right, okay. So these two number boxes will be available for mapping to our MIDI controller, and they will also record MIDI automation. So they'll record MIDI automation when we actually click and drag in the XY pad thing. But if we map them to a controller, then we also kind of, I want to see this visually represented by this number here. But the problem is if I feed that back in, I'm going to get like a, I guess maybe not a Stack Overflow, but I'm going to be creating more data than I really need. But I would like to sort of be able to turn this number here and see this move up and down. So the way that we're going to do that is we're just going to use Preen Set. And what that means is that if I take this number here, I'm going to hold shift and click and drag and do this fancy thing that I see people do all the time. And I'm always like, how do you do that? And I worked it out. You hold shift. So if I now set this here, you can see I'm turning this number and I'm moving the XY pad around, but it's not actually sending out any values. It's only sending out values when I click and drag. So that Preen Set basically says, set the thing, but don't send out the number. So that all should work pretty nicely. Let's take another one of these, put that there, and then let's do the same thing, that funky thing here. Hold shift, click. Oh no, I did it wrong, bollocks. Oh no, what have I done? Right, hold shift, click. Yeah, hold shift, click, hold shift, click, hold shift, click, like that. Beautiful. Now press escape. And then we can sort of click this and make this a little bit neater if we want. Yeah, that's fine. It kind of looks a bit ugly. I'm just going to tidy this up. Oh, why can't I? Yeah, okay. Command Shift Y. Ah, that looks much nicer, doesn't it? Hold Alt, Command Shift Y. Yeah, much prettier. Okay, so that should pretty much all be all we really want to do. I think I just want to, put some things back into presentation. So these two number boxes, Command Shift P. Let's put it all back. And I think I'd like to maybe, so these are the negative ones. These are the positive ones. So I think I'd maybe like to make that XY pad a little bit bigger, but I want my number boxes here. So let's go object, snap to grid, and let's maybe put this here like that, and then down there like that. Actually, if we hold shift, it'll scale it. Yeah, put that there. That's nice and big. Okay, put that there, and then we could put a comment in here. This could be X. That can go there, and then we'll have another one. This one can go here, and this can be Y. Okay, lock that. We can see that's pretty clearly defined. And then this will be the positive. These are a little long. I wonder if we could maybe put them over here. Yeah, let's put them over here. Let's move all of this stuff over there like that. It's going to be very snug. X, Y, positive, X, Y, negative. And I'll put a comment here. X, Y, positive. Or is it really positive, or maybe it's more sort of inverted? Let's just say X, Y here, and then this one can be X, Y, inverted. Okay, put that there, put that there. It doesn't look that great, but it's fine because it's going to be cool to use. Let's put that there like that. I think that's really all we need to do. So let's just recap. So this is our XY controller. These are the things that we can map to MIDI and record automation. This is going to map the XY coordinates in the positive. This is going to map the XY coordinates inverted. So let's save that. Go save, close it down, and let's see if it's worked. So let's make, let's just make 4 MIDI tracks, 4 audio tracks. Let's map the volume on this one, the volume on this one, the volume on this one, and the volume on this one. So now, yeah, look at that. Yes, it works. Oh, it's exciting. So when these are all up here in this corner, these two are up. And when it's all the way down here, these two are up, those ones are down. So it's not just X and Y, it's X and Y twice. just the other way around. So you've got like a little bit of extra control there. So now let's see if the automation worked. So if I should plug in a MIDI controller. I might do that in a minute. So let's just record just a bit of automation here and see if this works. Okay, it's working. Look, you can see the red dots have come on. Right, this is great. Okay, now let's stop. Let's rewind. Let's go to the arrange. Yes, there it is. It's worked. It's worked. It's brilliant. Okay, so let's have a look. Let's see if we've got Y as well. So that's Y. They both look the same. This is supposed to be X. This is supposed to be Y. Let's go plus. No, they're different. They're different. Okay, let's watch it back. See if it's worked. Woo, it's worked. Let's go over here and see. Yes, it's working. Fantastic. So now let's check to see if this is going to work with a MIDI controller. I'm just going to turn on my MIDI controllers here. Okay, I'm looking on my push and these are not available for mapping. That's okay. Let's address that now. So let's delete that automation, delete automation. Oops, no, delete automation. Thank you. Right. Okay. Let's go back into the editor. And this is should be pretty straightforward. All we need to do is make a live.banks. Okay. And then we double click that. It opens out so this is where you can assign all the controls. So we just need two, one for X and one for Y. That is done. Then let's go back into presentation. Okay, that's fine. Let's go save, close it. I'm just going to delete the device and then reload it. Now you can't see, but on my push now I can see these two controls. And if I turn this there, that is now being controlled by my MIDI controller by push or whatever controller you want to use. So let's see if that, it's setting this. Oh, it's working. Oh, I'm so happy. Right. Okay. Yeah, there we go. I'm controlling the Y with that dial and the X with that dial. Yeah, beautiful. And it's not quite the same as an XY pad, but it's two controls being controlled by my MIDI controller. Let's go back. Let's rewind and watch that happen. Yeah, that's working. Let's see if it's still mapping all of these. Pretty cool stuff. Yeah. Okay, so that was all very fun and exciting. I'm very, very happy. So I'm just going to delete that automation. Now let's just try and use it with something. Let's maybe try and use it with something like Simpler. Let's go and get an instance of Simpler. And what track is that on? All right, let's delete these audio tracks. Let's make a new MIDI track and then let's go and get Simpler. Where are you? Let's get Simpler, put that Simpler there. And then let's get our XY mapper. I'm just going to move this over here. And let's get a sample. Let's see what samples I've got. Let's go to my vocals. Oh my God. Oh my goodness me. Right, that one will do. Okay, so let's put that in there. Okay, I want it on classic. Right, that's incredibly loud. Apologies, internet. Right, so what we could do maybe is have something like put this into loop. And then maybe have like the length. Let's turn the snap off. We could have the length mapped to the, let's delete all those mappings. We could have the length of the loop mapped to the Y value. So let's do that. So then when I click and drag here, yeah, I'm turning that up and down. And then we could have the start position mapped to the X value. There we go. So when I've got the XY pad really low, the loop length is really short. And when I have it up, the loop length is bigger. This is a very nice visual representation of how this works. And then the left and right X and X horizontal is going to do the start position. Now, so this is when we can maybe use something like these two things here. If I don't want the full length to be quite that big when the Y value is all the way up, we can scale that down here, I think. Yeah, there we go. So I could say I maybe want a maximum length of something like 20%. Maybe get a bit of a fade in there. Turn the fade up. Oh, right, why don't we try something like using the second one's inverted? Let's maybe put the filter into morph, and we could maybe just have this X. Now, the thing is, because they're inverted, doesn't necessarily mean they have to stay inverted, because you can invert the range with these as well. So actually, these could have been inverted. In fact, I don't know why I don't know why I did that in the first place, but thinking about it now, it wasn't necessary. Anyway, so let's map the X value to the morph, and maybe the Y value to the frequency. All right, now let's try and record that as automation. Well, so we'll be recording the MIDI note and the automation of this as well. At least I think so. Yeah, we did. Oh, this is too much fun. I can't stop. All right, there we go. That's pretty much it. Let's stop recording and let's listen to it back. Let's start from here. Yeah, it works. Brilliant. I love computers. They're so good, aren't they? So there you go. It's really easy to get into this building your own mapping things now. It's, well, if you're interested in learning how to do that, it's really, really quite straightforward. Really, all you need to do is just get the controller signal into a range of 0 to 1, and then you can pretty much do anything. So there you go. I am going to revisit this at some point, because there are a couple of other sort of objects that you can use in Max to do this kind of stuff. The other one being the node object, which is this sort of, if you look at, oh my God, I've zoomed out. Let's zoom in. If you look at the help file, you've kind of got like multiple nodes that you can use to control. Well, someone's probably done this already. This has been around for a while, but I thought it would be fun to try and explore something to build. So you could have like lots of these points that could control maybe up to, 8 parameters or from one interface. And then there's also other things like using the mirror frame. If you are an iPad user, I'm currently not an iPad user, but I'm thinking about it. Well, I used to be an iPad user, and then I got rid of it because I wasn't using it enough. But now Max has really come a long way, and the mirror frame support has really come a long way. I don't know if that would even fit in there. I don't know. But the mirror frame basically means you can get like a live dial and just drop it in the mirror frame, and then it's on your iPad. But anyway, these are things that I'm thinking about for another time. So I hope that you enjoyed that and you learned something. Go away and build your own amazing XY pads and control Ableton and have a very nice time. I'm going to go and put this on my Patreon now, where you'll be able to get access to this and all kinds of other things. And thanks. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Bye.